can you let me know just before you go live?
He just told me to let you know when
I was saying just before you go live.
It's going to take a really long time to get back up.
No, I understand. I'm just saying for the future, please let me know ahead of time. So we're looking at goal setting in the now and what that looks like, starting at our someday goal. If you'd like, you can pull up the worksheet on this. It has a very good one.
on here?
No, you have it up on there.
On here?
Yeah, just go to module 2. What was something that stood out to y'all in the someday goal?
The Sunday goal? Hyperbolic discounting.
What does that mean?
You know what hyperbolic means?
No.
Do you want to find out?
If you want. If you want to share with me.
Of, relating to, or employing hyperbole.
What?
Having the form of a hyperbola.
What's a hyperbole or hyperbola? Is that the same as a
It's
hypothetical?
high-tech talk.
I didn't add any more clarity to my confusion.
You know what a hyperbole is?
No, I don't. That's what my question was.
Did you ever work with graphs in math?
Oh, that's this? Wait, hold on.
It's
Like that? That's a hyperbole?
like that?
Or is it like this?
From down up?
No.
And then...
It's like this.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Going up and down. Like a roller coaster.
I guess.
For the simple terms, gotta, goes like this. Yeah, I remember hyperboles. Those were fun. Those are some of my favorite times in class. So, but they haven't been very useful in my life, so I guess I forgot about them. It's one of the many things learning in class and didn't use.
I think it might be something like a pattern. You just don't realize that there's a pattern until, maybe somebody brings it to your attention.
So what was your point of saying that, Cameron? What was the aha?
What was the aha?
Yeah. Something about hyperbolic
Time
goals?
chamber?
Hyperbolic what?
Nothing. Well, it wasn't nothing, but so what I learned from that part of the video is that
What was it called?
hyperbolic discounting.
Hyperbolic discounting. Okay.
So the farther away something is in the future, the less power it has over your something. I think it was decisions,
On your your actions today.
actions today.
Yeah, I wrote that. The farther away the reward is in the future, the less power it has on your actions today. I wrote that down too. I was like, wow.
Because it's true.
And this someday goal definitely reminds me of another training that I learned when I was learning about goal setting. This guy was like, only 3% of people that had goals wrote them down. The other 97% were going to do it someday. And it just, someday island is very, very far away.
And the three are a lot more productive than the other ones.
Oh yeah. And
More successful.
And the other 97% worked for the 3%. Yeah. So why did that stand out to you?
Because I have set a lot of someday goals and have made very little or no progress on them.
Yeah. Yeah, me too. I didn't know how to, goal setting wasn't something that was taught in class. Or if it was, I must have missed that elective. What stood out to you, Mom?
Well, I know whenever you set a goal and you're supposed to work backwards, but for some reason that really stood out for me today.
Good. I'm really glad.
Because I always think to go backwards, what exactly does that mean? You have to get this before you get that, and this and that, but to go backwards in time is a different concept.
Yeah.
Oh, you're thinking backwards in steps as opposed to backwards in time? Interesting.
It's like if you want to buy a car, then you need this money, and if you need that money, then you have to get a job, and if you need to get a job, you know, where do you,
You need to look for a job.
yeah,
If you need to look for a job, you need a resume. If you need a resume, you need to do that today.
stepping it back like that as opposed to time, stepping back in time, which makes it a whole lot more clear.
Why does it make it more clear?
Well, because not only are you thinking about what needs to be done, but the time makes it to where it's not that goal way back, you know, way up in the future.
What?
Because you'll always associate it with way far in the future if you don't have the time to hold it in.
So, what was the time?
It was 5 years.
And then?
1 year.
And then?
When he was writing it, I was thinking 6 months, but he said 1 month.
Okay, but here's the thing. What I like better, and I'm glad you brought this up, is because what we do as a ministry is...
Quarters,
Yes. So, I guess we'll do 3 months.
3 months.
Which is a quarter.
Mhm.
And then we do 1 month.
Yep.
And then we do a week.
And then we do a week. And then we do a day. And then we do a session.
And then we do a delegate. That's just kidding.
Isn't that kind of neat?
Huh?
Because here's a tip that I learned, that whenever you're learning anything or training or whatever, you just want to take it's not just what they're saying, but you want to take what they're saying and apply it to what you're doing. And remix that so it fits the context of where we are and what we're saying. So like, the principles of someday working back in time, but how does that fit what we're doing? We don't need his 1 month, week, and type thing. We could do it in ours, because that's really our language. And once we apply that, it fits a lot better. So then, this is good. I think we're going to like this journey. So, can you explain to me, why did it help you to work backwards in time as opposed to work backwards in actions or steps?
Because it's almost like if I have to get a job, do I have to do that today, or can I wait a month? It's 5 years from now, maybe in a year. But when you work backwards, you're like, yeah, I better get a job now. You know.
Oh.
And so it like is contained within
A deadline.
time. Yeah.
So it's basically a goal without a deadline is just a dream. It's like that concept.
Yeah.
Because now you have a deadline for the actions and steps that you have to take.
That's almost like you know, people are wanting to make it to heaven, and they're not really thinking about the little steps you need to take to get there. They're just thinking, yeah, well, in a year I could perfect myself or something, you know, or whatever. I don't know what they're thinking, but if they even think that far, but just the fact that it takes time, and it's almost like a momentum that picks up, that when you get there in a year, you pretty much have it figured out and you're living that way. And so from 1 year up to 5 years isn't as hard as the first hour to the first day to the first week. You know, it's not a habit yet.
Because the further away the reward is in the future, the less power it has over your actions today.
Yeah.
But when you connect the someday goal to a session, it can be forgotten.
Or you get overwhelmed saying, I'll never make that.
So this feels overwhelming. But when you have an action plan, it's not. So this is what Live Your Calling is all about. And
it's almost like giving all your food to eat today that you're going to eat in your lifetime. So here,
yeah,
eat it now.
that's right. Interesting. Did you want to share something, Kamran?
No, it just it just reminded me of this quote that says, "Many will be lost while hoping and desiring to be Christians, but they
That's a
made
good-
no earnest effort."
Yeah,
No earnest effort.
that's the earnest effort right there.
And I think it's really good that we have worksheets that are giving very specific actions, actionable steps. Because the actionable steps, and I'm talking about the Direction from God program. I know he has worksheets too. And
Is that the worksheet you
yes,
want
that's a
to have up
worksheet.
there?
You've got it. Yeah.
Did you want it on the picture
On
or
the,
just on the screen
what do you mean on the picture?
to go on?
Oh,
your-
no, not on
Oh.
vMix. No, it's okay.
Okay.
But you see, goal setting in the now. We have and they have really nice reviews. It's asking for us to have our goals. So that's good. What stood out to you, Kathy?
That in 66 days from today, we will have a habit formed.
Why did that stand out to you?
I don't know.
I always heard it was 21 days.
Heard that there's two different themes of thoughts with the 21 days, 66 days, and the 66 dayers say that there's no actual studies or no evidence of 21 days, and some say what little they might have was faulty logic, and then they've done actual studies and the average was 66 days. You'll learn about that, of course, but I've been aware that there's been a contention or controversy over this, but I just figure like, does it really matter?
It does really matter. Because if you're thinking that it's only going to take 21 and you stop in the middle of it, you know, that's not going to get you very far.
Yeah, that's really like the third quarter.
And that's why
Or the
everybody's
third.
doing, right? And then they're wondering why it's not working.
Depends on which one you subscribe to.
Yeah.
Yeah. Was there anything else that stood out to you, Kathy?
Mm-mm.
No.
So, what would be a someday goal that we want to have?
Someday have 100 pieces of content out there every day.
That's a 1 year goal.
Yeah.
Well, how close are we to that?
Getting closer.
And how far are we going to exceed that after 1 year?
We should write this down. We should take some time to identify what would we like to see someday.
Someday?
Yep, someday.
What happened to my picture?
Well, for what?
What I would do is I would consider ouch. Just consider the 7 areas of life.
The Live Your Calling has a page on that, doesn't
Yeah.
it?
We want to make sure that we bring that here because we're using it for these going through the worksheets. Ouch.
You want me to go get mine?
Yes, I want you to bring it every day to the sessions in the morning.
Okay. Do you have yours, Kamra?
No.
Huh? You want me to go get it for you?
We're going to discuss it afterwards.
All right.
Live Your Calling, what are we talking about? Other than our account books?
That is a Live Your Calling account
That's
book.
what, okay, that's what I
But we're on Life Step and a Name.
Okay,
You got that?
I do.
Alright. So we want to think, what is our someday goal?
Here's the The goals. Let's see.
I'm gonna stab myself.
Oh no, this isn't it. No, that's not it. Running out of papers. Let me get some more. Here.
Just make it plain upon a table.
Plain upon a table.
The stepping stones have the goals in it. There's educational, family, spiritual, social, health, financial, and spiritual.
I had Traffic Secrets, the Traffic Secrets book on my educational goals that I wrote like in December. And I just got it last night. I'm like knocking off the goals, making progress. That's pretty cool. Kathy, you got it?
Yeah.
So you just want to think like, what are some character goals that you want to develop? What are some social goals you want to develop? And we can probably choose one and work backwards from that. Wow.
What are you wowing, Nick?
I'm just looking back at my definite aim,
Uh-huh.
and I'm like shocked to see how much of them I actually did.
Yeah, tell us what I'm...
Build a first funnel. Build a large family battle board.
Which one are you the most proud of?
Oh, I don't know. Haven't read them all.
I know in that 3% who wrote down their goals, even if they didn't look back on their goals, if they just wrote them down that day and tucked it away, they still was a lot further than if they didn't do that. You remember that wish I knew the name of it. You remember that little short film that talks about how the people got hired to do a campaign, a marketing campaign, and then they drove them over to the place and they told them what they were gonna do. It's kind of similar to that.
I think it's hard to write stuff while we're talking.
Well, I'll be quiet then.
I will too.
So out of 33 of them, I have 25 that I did. It's a lot.
You did 25 already? Nice. Way to go, Mom.
Yeah. I did all those.
Is that rewarding or what?
Yeah. It is. I'm glad I filled this out.
Wow, praise the Lord. I'm glad you filled it out too.
Yeah. I'm glad I have this paper.
You can take a picture of it and keep it in a safe place.
Fill out another one.
Yeah, fill out another one.
That took a long time to fill out. I'm glad I did it.
It's worth it.
Yeah. Are these already printed?
I believe I have some in my white binder.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, it's over by the couch. I think I printed one for everyone.
Want me to bring the binder, or do you want me to just grab those?
You can bring the binder, please.
Okay.
Interesting.
What's interesting? Thank you. Perfect. Excellent. What do you find interesting, my brother?
It's broken down.
What is?
This goal.
You took a goal and you broke it down?
Yeah.
That's great. Would you like to share with us?
Would you like it to be shared?
I would love to hear how you broke it down.
Okay. So I want to have a piano repertoire of 50 pieces in 5 years.
Okay. Alright, 50 pieces. Memorize?
Just able to play, like, successfully played,
Okay.
and that I can read and play and, you
Okay.
know, not particularly memorize, but.
What's your 1 year goal?
So that means every year I would need to know 10 pieces. I would need to learn 10.
What would be an example of a piece?
A piece would be like one piece would be like just like you probably call them songs, but they're not called songs.
What are they?
They're called pieces.
No, but what are they?
It's like
there's a phrase that's like it's kind of like
A work of art?
like Beethoven, Bach, or it's kind of like these are kind of like bridge. Compare it with something that we might understand, because no one here knows what a piece is.
a piece of music is like a
Like a poem,
yeah.
right?
Yeah, but what does that mean? Can you give an example?
Like
What's a piece? What's one of them that you want to learn?
one of them. Well, my 1 year goal
Okay.
is to learn Chopin, however you say it. Is I think it's Nocturne in E flat.
That's
minor.
1 year? I thought your 1 year was to learn 10. But that's one of your 10?
That's one of my 10.
Oh, okay. Alright.
That's like the pinnacle of the 10. Like that would be the hardest one that I would learn.
Oh, okay. In a year.
in the
Okay.
year.
Alright. So what would you need to do in order to, in 3 months?
I would need to have 2 down and 1 being worked on. 2.5.
Alright. What about 1 month?
In 1 month, I would need to learn 1 and start working on another. So that's about 1.2. Which means in 1 week, I would need to just practice 1 for every week of that month.
So you'd need to get like a fourth of the way through one?
Yeah. That's about.
Okay. So what would that mean you'd have to do today?
Well, you really gotta break that down. Well, today I need to get my list together.
What list? Your list of 50?
My list of 50, yeah.
So you gotta choose 50 pieces.
Yep.
Okay. And then what are you doing in this session?
Whoa, I didn't even write that down. Whoops.
What are you doing in the session?
I'm setting a goal.
That's key. Without this, none of this could be possible without that. That's where it starts. Those who fail to plan to fail. Cool. Do you have one you'd like to share, Mom? I'll come to you next, Caddy.
Okay. That I have going on this year. You mean?
Yeah, or something that that you have. Yeah.
Well, I tell you something that from here. Well, one of the things that being a Christian, I know that we have to ask for forgiveness. And I've explained to you guys that I don't always feel like I don't know. I feel like we all sin and I don't know if it's because of that. I just don't feel the feelings of remorse or whatever. And then so it's kind of hard to like conjure that up inside. But I want to ask for forgiveness, and I want to be more, because it'll make me more, caring about people and loving and kind. And so that was one of my gifts, or one of my goals. Thank you. And so I was praying to God, and even though I know that I should do that, I do that because I know I should do that, not because I feel like, I have that feeling. But praying more about it and thinking about it and trying to relate how they feel with my, how I would feel if I was in their shoes, kind of thing. And I think that God is moving me in that direction. And moving in that direction and studying about it and wanting to be part of the 144,000 has really Deborah, do this, because that special person has to thoroughly understand this and be able to live that way. And so I was trying to learn more about, being a part of the 144,000. And by doing that, I really...
So the 144,000 is your someday goal?
Yeah, that's my someday goal. Yeah.
That's your why.
That's my goal. That's
one of your strongest
drive.
motivators in life.
And so then I'm thinking the steps that I need to do that. And it was really funny because all of a sudden Sarah calls me up and she's like, down there in Mexico having fun. And she's like, Mom, we have to talk. you know, and she's like, well, I need you to ask for forgiveness, or, you know, she was like right along that path of what I was working on.
God was
'Cause I
answering your
didn't-
prayers.
Yeah, I didn't even tell her or anything, you know. And so, yeah, and I just feel like God is like parting the way to do it. And then yesterday when, and it was strange because Jana called on your phone, and I ended up talking to her. And while we were talking to each other about forgiveness for each other, about the way we've treated each other and stuff. And it just like, and then when I come here and I just wrote these down. I don't really come back and look at them. It's like, whoa, I did that and I did that. And it's amazing.
Praise the Lord.
And now if I just like plug them into that session and that day and that week and that month and, you know, work my way down to the session, I think I'll get further faster. So that's where I'm at right now.
Praise the
And
Lord.
it would be nice to have like an accountability partner to go through something like that. Because another thing that's on my habit is to learn and to teach. And so if we could be together and we could learn and teach each other and grow together and do you know, somebody I trust and do things that'll move us in the direction, you know, to be part of the 144,000. That's what I want to. And I see that. I'm so working in that direction.
Isn't that encouraging?
Yeah.
Yeah. And
It's
if you
amazing.
never wrote it down, you would have forgotten that you ever had that, because it's always someday. Your subconscious mind always puts it off someday, and even if you are making progress towards that someday, you don't recognize it,
Yeah, it
and
doesn't
because you don't
register.
recognize it, you don't get that encouragement, that push to go forward.
Yeah. I think that's one of Satan's like darts to keep us in the someday, but no commitment to it.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, it's amazing.
it's a way that he keeps us like a loser in life.
This is our definite aim. Yeah, just someday we want to do something, and that's our definite aim. And we just, how do we do it? Fuzzy targets don't get hit, so let's get super clear.
It's amazing that, you know, I've always like tried to find study on the Bible about 144,000, and I listen to pastors, and there's really not that much in it. But when you're aiming in that direction, it's like, whoa, this has to do with 144,000. Oh, this has to do, you know, you're just sitting there, you're finding all kinds of stuff in there. I was like, wow.
Praise the
Okay.
Lord. What a
You're-
blessing.
And sometimes I feel like I send too much, but it helps me to feel like I didn't, that there's hope for me.
What a
Otherwise,
blessing.
God wouldn't
Amen.
like put that in my face.
Yeah.
I don't think. Are you trying to make the great escape?
No,
Oh
No.
okay.
getting ready to pray.
Oh,
What do you have to share, Kathy?
I don't.
You don't have
It's
anything
a work
to share?
in progress. It's not ready yet.
Not ready? Okay.
that's a great escape.
Well, we're not ready to pray yet, just to let you know. You can get off your knees. So you didn't want to share with us?
I'm not there yet.
Not where?
I'm not ready to share yet.
Oh, okay. Alright.
I wrote a lot of things down, but I'm not ready to share.
Alright. Well, praise the Lord. Yeah, I was really encouraged because some of the stuff that, see, in the month of December, I was learning more about like how to set goals and how that works and trying to understand this concept because it's not anything I've ever learned. I've had quite a few someday goals like Carmen was sharing, but it wasn't until actually learning how to break them down. I always hear people work backwards, but I'm like how do you do that? Like my brain is having a hard time to realize what are the milestones. People say like, yeah, set milestones are where you're trying to go, but I'm like, what is it? How do you determine a milestone? It's like, how do you choose 50 pieces versus 10 pieces, or like, it all seems arbitrary. Like, what does that look like? And what I realized is like, wait a second. You just start. Like this someday, there's no limit. There's no limits. Think big. And
Yeah.
if you think you want to do 50 pieces, 10x it. Do 500 pieces and work backwards and see what it would do. And then it allows you to think, in order for you to learn, well, let's say 10 pieces a month, what would you have to do differently? how would you have to learn or shift your focus or your method or technique or resource? Like, what would it take for you to take to learn to I guess 12 pieces in a month? And then it's like that question challenges it's a stretch, and then it causes you to think differently, where then now, like, 1.5 pieces a month doesn't even seem like as daunting as it would have before.
Yes,
But it's just like, wow, that's really powerful.
that is.
And that's how a lot of people, a lot of like companies, they grow and they scale because they're thinking that 10x rule. Whereas like a lot of larger established companies can't really think like that. That's where you get innovative tools and resources. But some of the things that I wrote down there, I realized like, so I was saying that because in December, I was going through the goals. I was seeing like, who am I, where am I going, what do I want to do, and what's going on. And I began to realize like, yeah, developing information products. It's like, I love technology, and I love the Bible, and I love teaching. That's always been a passion of mine, and just being able to help people understand things. It like fits. Mom, your phone's going off.
In my room?
Probably.
Is it bothering you?
Yeah, it's hard for me to think. But those areas are really really strong in my life that I want to like move towards. And one of the goals was to find a new place to move out of the place that we were in. We found this. The Lord really blessed. He's been helping a lot. And also, some of the goals were to thank you, Mom. There's a go live every day on Facebook and Instagram, which it's still something I'm moving forward to. I'm glad it wasn't something that was forgotten. And then trying to put together like a studio, which we got a studio. We're improving as we go, but the lighting wands, we wanted a bunch of lighting wands, and that came to fruition. Still working on the TV screen to display the slides. But I realized, like with the value ladder, there has been a lot of understanding as far as like how to work with that, how to get that accomplished. And I realized one of the things that helped me the most with the value ladder is something recently I did, is the mind map. That mind map was really powerful. If we can actually, like, I began to realize that the mind map was super quick, like fast to put together. It was super free. And you can use the same framework too. It's like, what are the goals that we need to do in order to get there? And just like you can create a mind map for the different steps and the progress, and just see it overall, what needs to be done.
And who needs to be contacted?
Yeah, and at what stage does it become relevant? And I'm like, wow, that's really helpful, as opposed to like a linear page that just has all the things on it. Yeah, or no page, but of course that, yeah. So I was very encouraged, like the Traffic Secrets book I was mentioning, that's there.
We never did buy that from anybody.
Yeah, we did. That's what I was telling you.
Who?
Jim Edwards.
Oh, we did?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, good.
Yeah, you must have missed my message I sent you.
I guess.
Yeah, and I had on there seasonal cycles of activity too, just seeing like in an ideal life, depending on like winter, spring, summer, fall, there's cycles to life, and what are the types of activities or things that we can think of. Like during these times, you might find that during the winter it's easier to pump out songs under practice because you're more indoors and maybe like out as much, or in the spring exploring things or planting the garden, or there's just, and then during the summer that's like an easier time to have seminars and to do events where people are coming to and learning and growing and just different things of that nature. It really makes a big difference.
When people are out of school.
Yeah. So I find it extremely helpful for us to do this. That's why, like, during the monthly review, we want to review what is our goals here, and then we can like map out another one. And then as we do this systematically, what we want to do is we want to have a system to review our goals, and like Mom was saying, to hold us accountable towards them. The more that we share what our goals are, the more that we can help each other to accomplish these things that we want to do in life. We're here to support each other. The more that we find other people outside of the home and enroll them in what we're doing, find people with similar goals, and help them come along and help them to grow in what God has called them to do, to live their calling. This is going to help us all of us to grow in different areas. You want to say
It's going
something?
to be really good for the battle board.
This is going to be good for the battle board?
Very good.
Why?
Just because when we're sitting there saying who we want to be as a ministry,
Uh-huh.
and we're able to sit together and say, hey, what do we need to do? Where would we need to be in 5 years to do that?
Yeah.
And then in 1 year, and then we have months. Meetings for each section
Yeah.
of them. So
Yeah.
how can we go wrong? And plus, we can hold each other accountable too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's why we want to look at it. You're absolutely right. So when we do the weekly review, the monthly review, and when we finish the quarter, we really want to take time to consider these things. It's good to check in, to review. Like, we don't have to go over all of our life goals every week, but every month we should be checking in with our goals and seeing where are we, and see if we're progressing, and then try to map out another one. And in a quarter, we can do like we can go a little bit more in depth to see, all right, this past quarter, what's that been like? This upcoming quarter, what is this? Just reevaluate our life as a whole. By integrating this habit in our life, it will help us to make sure that we're moving forward in the direction that God has called us to go. And we're going to be more fulfilled in life. I really believe that. God has great plans for all of us.
Amen.
Just, we need faith to believe the promises of God. Amen. Well, I guess we can close here with a word of prayer. You want to pray for us, Mom?
Sure.
All right.
Dear Lord, thank you for opening up our eyes and our hearts, and thank you for the love that you give to us, and the way that you don't leave us behind, and you just go at the steps right where we're at, and you take us by the hand and you lead us, and you surround us with the people who can help us, and you give to us all our needs if we look, Lord, if we realize it, and if we go forward with you and trust in you, Lord. Thank you for doing all the things that you do for us, and thank you for having something special for each one of us. And I pray, Lord, that we all write down the goals that you would have us to write and work toward those goals, and that we could see how powerful it is to work toward goals and to reach them and be able to teach that to other people, Lord. And I pray that each one of us here who want to be part of the 144,000 will do what it takes to do that, and that we could be part of the 144,000. Thank you for the opportunity, Lord, and thank you for all the love that you give to us. Please help us to keep our hearts dedicated to you. Help us to keep our minds set on you, and to put away the world behind us, and to just keep going forward, and to grow stronger and stronger in the way that you want us to be, that we will glorify you, and people, when they see us, they'll know you because they've seen us. We love you, Lord. Thank you for all the opportunities. Help our faith, and help our whatever we need most, each one of us. We love you. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Praise the Lord. God's moving mountains. You can turn off the stream.
Okay.
Thanks for getting that, Mom.